This is the Spatial Media Expert Series presented by Skyrim.ai. In this episode, we discuss how the sports broadcasting industry is using techniques from Hollywood to enhance the broadcast.
All right, let's unpack this. Welcome to the Expert Series from Skyrim.ai. Today, we're diving deep into, a really fascinating stack of sources. We've got articles, industry reports, some pretty technical stuff too, and it's all pointing towards this really big trend. Live sports broadcasts. They're starting to look and maybe even feel a lot like Hollywood blockbusters. So the mission for this deep dive, and this is part of our Summer 2025 series, looking at how the sports broadcast industry is changing, aiming to make sports better for fans, maybe streamline production, all that is to explore how these production techniques from film, from high-end TV, are crossing over into sports coverage. And maybe most importantly, what does that actually mean for how you experience the game at home? We're going to look at the specific tools they're borrowing, try to understand why broadcasters are doing this, and how this whole convergence is changing the visuals, the stories, pretty much everything.
It's a really interesting shift, isn't it? It feels like it's moving beyond just showing the game. It's more about actively shaping how you feel watching it, sort of like a film director would,
Okay, so let's start there with the actual look of sports. It really does seem like broadcasters are deliberately trying to give games that film-like quality lately. What are you seeing?
Yeah, that's definitely a huge part of it. That push towards cinematic visuals. One of the key things you see everywhere now is the use of shallow depth of field cameras, often right down there on the field or courtside.
Ah, right. The ones where the background goes all blurry.
Exactly. That creamy background blur. It just pulls your focus right onto the player, isolates them, makes the moment feel more dramatic, more personal. Fox Sports really kicked this off, I think it was back in 2020, with that Megalodon camera rig they developed.
I remember that, yeah. Big thing on the sidelines.
That's the one. But now it's pretty standard. You see ESPN, Turner using cameras like Canon EOS or Sony Alpha models to get those almost portrait mode shots in NBA games, for example.
So it's not just about clarity, it's about that artistic focus. And it goes beyond just the focus, right? The colors, the detail, that feels different too.
Absolutely. High dynamic range HDR imaging is, it's quickly becoming the default, especially for major events. We saw the Olympic Broadcasting Services cover the Paris 2024 games entirely in 4K UHD HDR. That was a massive undertaking.
Wow, the whole thing?
The whole production. And Fox Sports, they made HDR standard for their big NFL games, including Super Bowl 59 earlier this year. They originated that in 1080p HDR. What HDR gives you is just richer colors, way better contrast. You see detail in the really bright spots and the deep shadows that just gets lost in standard dynamic range. It adds this visual intensity, makes it feel more real somehow.
Okay, and then there's slow motion. I mean, slow-mo has always been part of sports, but this feels elevated.
Oh, definitely. Elevated is a good word. It's not just standard slow-mo anymore. We're seeing a huge push for ultra slow motion cameras specifically for that dramatic punch. Look at Fox's Super Bowl 59 coverage just this past February. They threw, I think it was 147 cameras at it.
140?
Yeah, it's wild. And within that, they had 27 ultra slow-mo cameras, plus another 23 capable of 4K or even 8K. So the replays you're seeing are often 4, 6, sometimes even 8 times slower than real time.
Why go that slow?
It lets you, the viewer, really absorb the weight of a moment, the emotion, the tiny details. Like in a crucial scene in a movie might linger, right? You see things you'd completely miss otherwise. They talk about seeing individual blades of grass in 8K replays. It highlights the physics, the effort, the impact. NBC did something similar for Paris 2024, too. They actually doubled their multi-camera replay systems compared to the Tokyo Olympics just to handle these more complex, super slow motion replays.
Okay, that visual upgrade is undeniable. But using those, high-end cinema cameras live, how do they manage that? Wasn't that always the big technical hurdle, the workflow issue?
That's a really important point. And yeah, traditionally, bringing those cinema cameras into a live broadcast truck was a headache. Their whole recording and processing pipeline just wasn't built for instant replays and live switching. But that gap, it's pretty much closed now. You've got companies like Red Digital Cinema, famous for their film cameras, right? Partnering directly with the big players in live replay systems like EVS. They actually showed this off at the MPTS trade show earlier this year in 2025. Cameras like the Red V Raptor, the Komodo, they can now feed directly into the live broadcast systems.
So no more waiting for files to process or anything.
Pretty much seamless. They can capture and say 8K live and output a broadcast-ready signal immediately. You can get 3x or 4x slow-motion playback right from the camera feed into the replay server, no delay. Some setups can even output multiple feeds at once, like maybe a 4K live feed for the main broadcast and simultaneously a 1080p feed running at 8x slow-mo just for those super detailed replays.
So you get that gorgeous cinematic image.
Exactly, that large format cinematic storytelling look.
Without messing up the speed you absolutely need for live sports.
Precisely. It brings the best of both worlds together. And we're seeing it used. CBS Sports, NBC, they've used RED cameras for things like getting those really dramatic, high-quality shots of fan reactions during March Madness. Adds a whole different texture.
Okay, so the filming itself is becoming more cinematic. But you're also saying they're building new visual layers, maybe even entire virtual worlds, using tricks from the visual effects industry.
Absolutely. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. Broadcasters are borrowing heavily from virtual production and VFX pipelines. Think virtual sets, those huge LED walls they use in shows like The Mandalorian.
Yeah, the volume.
Right. Well, ESPN built their own version, the Catalyst stage in Bristol. It's directly inspired by ILM's stagecraft technology. It's got this massive, like 65-foot curved LED wall, and they use Unreal Engine, the same super powerful software behind tons of video games, to put their anchors basically anywhere. Anywhere they can design. A skyscraper rooftop overlooking the city before a game, inside a virtual stadium model showing key plays. You name it, it's all rendered in real time.
That sounds incredibly flexible for pregame shows or analysis segments.
Totally. It gives them these cinematic quality backgrounds that look real, but are totally digital, allows for really dynamic presentations, and makes locations that would be crazy expensive or just impossible to film at suddenly usable for broadcast.
And augmented reality, AR. That's way beyond just the yellow first down line now, isn't it?
Miles beyond. Immersive real-time AR is a massive trend, and it's being used to completely transform the viewing experience, sometimes in really playful ways. Remember ESPN's Toy Story Fun Day Football back in fall 2023?
Vaguely, yeah. Wasn't that like the whole game was animated?
Exactly. They took a live NFL game and basically turned it into an animated event happening in the Toy Story universe, with animated versions of the players moving in sync with the real action. Or look at the NHL's Big City Greens Classic. They did one in March 2023, then another in March 2024, same idea. Recreated a live hockey game as a cartoon, using the style of the Big City Greens show, with animated players mirroring the real guys on the ice.
How? How do they even sync that up live? Animation takes months.
That's the magic. They're essentially doing live animation. They use all the player and puck tracking data stuff like NFL Next Gen stats or the NHL Edge system with its sensor-equipped pucks and player tags. They take that real-time positional data, maybe combine it with some motion capture principles, and feed it into a game engine like Unreal. The engine then renders the animated characters and the virtual environment over the live camera feed instantly.
Okay, that's pretty wild. And the goal there is obviously reaching new fans, right? Kids, families.
Absolutely. That's the primary driver for those alternate broadcasts. They're explicitly trying to expand the audience, bring in people who might not tune into a standard game, and it works. That NHL Big City Greens example, the network reported its audience skewed 60% female, which completely flips the typical hockey demographic. It's about bringing the game to a new audience using visuals they already know and like from animation or gaming.
But AR isn't just for those full cartoon takeovers, is it? It's sneaking into the regular broadcasts, too.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Think about those slick 3D team logos that seem to sit right on the field, or virtual billboards that change depending on where you're watching, or even animated team mascots popping up and interacting with the live scene. They make it look seamless using really sophisticated tech, real-time sensor tracking on cameras, sometimes LiDAR, the laser scanning tech that self-driving cars use to map their surroundings.
LiDAR on a sports broadcast.
Yeah. For Super Bowl 59, Fox actually put LiDAR sensors on their Skycam wires. They combine that with SLAM software that's simultaneous. Localization and mapping, again, tech from robotics and autonomous vehicles, basically, to tell the graphics system exactly where the camera was and how it was moving in 3D space. The result, the AR graphics track perfectly with the camera movement. No jitter, no floating. It makes the blend between the real footage and the virtual elements incredibly convincing.
It really is getting harder to spot the seams sometimes. Makes you wonder, though, does layering on all that digital stuff ever risk feeling artificial? Or does it mostly just add to the experience?
That's the balancing act, isn't it? When it's done well, it's seamless, maybe even invisible, just enhancing the information or the spectacle. But if the tracking glitches or if it feels like they're just throwing graphics on screen for the sake of it, yeah, it can definitely pull you out of the moment, feel a bit distracting. Broadcasters are constantly trying to find that sweet spot.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit, moving behind the scenes, or sometimes even right into the broadcast sound. AI. That feels like another massive area where sports is rapidly adopting tech we hear about in Hollywood.
Indeed, AI is popping up everywhere in sports production. It's doing everything from automating editing tasks to helping producers make decisions and even generating commentary. One of the biggest applications right now is automated editing and highlights. There are platforms, WSC Sports is a major one, that use AI for hundreds of sports leagues worldwide: NBA, ESPN, La Liga, you name it. Their AI systems analyze the live game feeds, they identify key moments, goals, big plays, fouls, whatever, and can automatically cut together custom highlights packages, sometimes in just minutes.
Minutes. That's incredibly fast compared to a human editor sifting through hours of footage.
Way faster. And it directly meets that huge fan demand for instant gratification, getting highlights almost immediately after they happen. Plus, it opens the door to really personalized content. Imagine getting an AI-generated reel of just your favorite players' highlights delivered to your phone right after the game. AI is becoming absolutely central to that kind of scaled, rapid content creation.
Is it helping during the live show too, like in the director's ear?
It's starting to. Think of it as a smart assistant. Machine learning algorithms can analyze real-time data streams, things like the noise level from the crowd microphones, the position of the ball, maybe player tracking data showing who's hot, and actually suggest camera shots to the director. It's like having an extra set of eyes, flagging things a human producer might miss in the heat of the moment. For smaller, maybe lower-tier productions, you could even see AI doing more of the basic camera switching, potentially reducing crew size, hitting that reduced production's efficiency goal we talked about.
And virtual ads. We see those sometimes, where a billboard in the stadium looks different depending on the broadcast feed. That feels very Hollywood, like digital product placement in movies.
Another perfect example of a direct crossover. Computer vision tech lets broadcasters digitally overlay ads onto the live feed. They can replace real-world signage with something else, or add completely new virtual banners or logos into the scene.
And target them.
Yeah, that's the key. They can target those virtual ads based on the viewer's region or even the specific streaming platform they're watching on. Companies like Sapana Research, they specialize in this. It creates massive new revenue streams because you can sell the same ad space multiple times over to different advertisers. And often it's done so well, so seamlessly integrated that you, the viewer, probably can't tell what's physically there and what's been digitally inserted. We saw a lot of this during the pandemic too, using it to fill empty stands with virtual fans or banners.
Okay, now, this is where my mind really starts to bend a little. AI voices in sports. I've heard rumblings about this. Is that actually happening?
It is, and it's probably the most talked about, maybe even controversial development right now. It definitely mirrors the debates happening in Hollywood around voice cloning. The big example was NBC announcing they'd use an AI-generated clone of the legendary Al Michaels voice.
The Al Michaels?
An AI version of his voice, yes. To narrate daily highlight packages for the Paris 2024 Olympics, specifically for their Peacock streaming service. The AI would read a script, and they even said it could personalize the intro, like greeting you by name.
Wow. Okay. What else?
Well, we've seen other experiments too. IBM's Watson AI, for instance, generated automated play-by-play commentary for some of the outer court tennis matches at the 2023 U.S. Open, based purely on analyzing the live match data. And Eurovision Sport tested an AI system back in 2024 that could translate live commentary in real time, say, from French into Portuguese.
Live translation by AI. What's the goal there? Just making content accessible.
That's a huge part of it. Think about democratizing access to sport, as they put it. Making commentary available in languages where maybe you don't have human commentators available, especially for niche sports or smaller markets. It also opens up possibilities for personalized commentary down the line. Imagine choosing an AI voice that sounds like a local announcer, or one that focuses on the specific stats you care about.
It does make you think, though. But what does this mean for the human commentators, the editors, the producers? Is AI taking jobs?
That's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? And the industry is definitely grappling with it. The general view presented in a lot of these sources is that right now AI is mostly seen as an assistant. It's handling the high volume, maybe more repetitive tasks like cutting thousands of highlight clips or providing new capabilities like instant translation that just weren't feasible before. The idea is it frees up the human talent for the more creative, analytical work, the storytelling, the deeper insights. But yeah, the potential for disruption down the road, that's absolutely part of the conversation. Nobody's ignoring that possibility. So if we try and tie all this together, these cinematic cameras, the virtual sets, the AR overlays, the AI helping out, why? What's the big picture? What's the ultimate goal for broadcasters putting all this Hollywood tech into sports?
Well, listening to all this, it really sounds like it comes down to making the broadcast more engaging, right? Making it feel more like premium entertainment to keep people watching.
Exactly. That's the core driver. It's about deepening the emotional connection, enhancing the narrative impact of the game. Let's face it, we live in a world overflowing with media choices. Sports producers know they need to make their broadcasts as compelling, as visually rich, as emotionally resonant as any scripted drama or big-budget movie. Using these techniques helps capture that raw human emotion. The agony on an athlete's face after a near miss, the sheer joy of victory in a way that feels more poetic, more cinematic. The sources say technology aids deeper storytelling. And when a broadcast feels like that, feels premium and visually stunning and tells a good story, you're just more likely to stay tuned in, right? Like you would with a really well-made film.
And you mentioned earlier, attracting new eyeballs.
Yeah.
Like with the cartoon hockey games, that's got to be a huge payoff too.
Oh, a massive payoff. Audience expansion is key. Those alternate broadcasts, the NFL Toy Story one, the NHL Big City Greens, they are laser focused on kids and families, trying to bring in viewers who maybe wouldn't normally watch, using aesthetics from animation, from gaming to meet them where they are. And AI helps here too, beyond just the flashy stuff. Personalized highlights make the content more relevant to individual fans. AI translation, like that Eurovision trial showed, opens up huge global audiences who want commentary in their own language. They found a huge appetite for that. It lowers the barrier to entry for fans worldwide.
It also seems like all this extra production effort is about making the live broadcast feel special again, something you want to watch as it happens, not just catch the clips later.
That's precisely the branding and retention angle. Networks know they're competing with endless highlight clips on social media. By investing in making the live broadcast visually spectacular, story-driven, an event, they give you a reason to lean forward, a reason to tune in live and experience the whole thing. It makes their main product feel premium and distinct from just snacking on highlights. It does make me wonder, though, all these techniques designed to enhance the story and visuals, how do you feel they impact your connection? Do they pull you closer to the game, the athletes, or does it sometimes feel like another layer between you and the raw action?
That's a really good question, something I think we're all sort of figuring out as viewers. So it's not just about the audience. It empowers the production teams, too, gives them new creative tools.
Definitely. It shifts the mindset for producers and directors. They can think less like just technical operators capturing what's there and more like storytellers, like world builders. They can frame a whole season leading up to something like the Super Bowl as this grand unfolding epic, and the cinematic visuals we saw at Super Bowl 59 really reinforce that feeling. Or they can take a standard midseason game and add layers of intrigue with AI-powered stats graphics or dynamic virtual elements. The story comes first, and the tech enables it. And ultimately, the payoff they're seeking is loyalty and growth, keeping existing viewers engaged, attracting new ones, which translates into ratings and revenue. You look at something like Super Bowl 59 on Fox earlier this year, strong traditional TV numbers, sure, but also a record digital streaming audience. That suggests these newer, maybe more engaging techniques helped capture viewers across different platforms, including cord cutters.
Wow. Okay, so we've really covered a lot. From the actual cameras making sports look like movies to building virtual studios, overlaying graphics, using AI for everything from highlights to potentially even commentary. The tools and the mindset from Hollywood are definitely transforming how we watch sports.
It's clearly a strategic evolution. It's driven by that need to compete for your attention in a very crowded landscape. It's all about presenting sports just as compellingly, just as sophisticatedly as any other top-tier entertainment out there, using better visuals, more immersive elements, and smarter storytelling.
It really, really does feel like that line between watching a live sporting event and watching other kinds of high-end entertainment is getting blurrier all the time.
And maybe that blurring line leaves us with a final thought, something for you to consider. As sports broadcasts increasingly adopt the look, the feel, the techniques of Hollywood productions, what new possibilities does that open up for the fan experience? But also, what potential challenges or maybe even downsides might come along with it?
That is a great question to chew on. This has been a deep dive from the Skyrim.ai Expert Series. Thanks for tuning in.
Skyrim.ai was founded by veterans of the spatial media industry and is committed to advancing the field of immersive sports experiences and storytelling to fans everywhere.